My name is Boram. I'm a coffee producer, roaster, and barista in Brazil. I'm the current Brazilian Barista Champion, and I'm here in Melbourne for the first time in my life competing at the World Barista Championship and representing my country. It's a routine that we've been researching for the last year. I think there's a big stigma involving coffees with lower caffeine content, especially decaf coffees. And we have been observing that it has been a major trend in championships to have coffees with generally lower caffeine content than average Arabica varietals, which is why we decided to study. There's definitely for us a correlation in terms of quality and flavor taste. And luckily, we've been understanding that Brazil, as a producing country, has been investing in low-cap varietals for years. We have producers in Brazil finding new ways to reduce caffeine content of coffees during post-harvest fermentation, while also developing more low-cap varietals, especially because low-cap varietals are really hard to produce. So Brazil is one of the only countries who are able to unlock that and start developing varietals that can produce more, but also be lower caffeine content as well. And that's a subject that we felt really passionate about presenting this year, and that was the routine in general. We've been seeing Stronghold with a lot of the major competitors, especially the most successful competitors. Obviously, convection roaster, base type roasters have been very successful in unlocking a lot of complexity and aroma in coffees, and especially in our case, we used the Lorena this year for competition. Lorena has a very different physical structure for the coffee in terms of shape, density, and size as well. And obviously, the best result that we were able to achieve was through Stronghold and convection roasters as well. So, being small batch and bringing that level of sweetness and complexity with Stronghold has been a huge result for us. We got some amazing feedbacks about our coffee in terms of sweetness and complexity, and I think it was only achievable through roasting through Stronghold. So one of our biggest challenges was bringing coffee to Melbourne. I think we also we were trying to look for Stronghold users in Australia, which was unfortunate, but bringing green beans into Australia is really tough. And not being there to be roasting our coffees ourselves was also a big challenge, but obviously with the reputation application of Stronghold was perfect. We had people roasting our competition beans the day before they were coming in from Canada to Melbourne, so it was perfect to be able to trust on the level of quality and how we could use that. Yeah, I think especially on these higher density coffees with a lot more complexity, I think the halogenic feature of the roast as well is truly important, especially unlocking a lot of different complex and subtle and high complexity like floral notes. And some of the floral notes that came out in our coffee this year was only achievable through working with Stronghold. We were not getting any of that on other drum roasters. So that feature has been key for our competition success this year. Yeah, of course. There's always a lot of stories involving competition prep. And during training, my coaches, my Canadian coaches, Cole and Dave from Rosso, they started giving me sort of negative exercises if I went overtime during my practice time. So I was paying every second that I went overtime on my practices with push-ups. And the reason why we decided to start doing that is because some of the material that we built up for our competition, like our boxes that we're using to hide our stuff and give like a good flow for our workflow, they were 6 kilos heavy each because they were made out of steel. It was supposed to be aluminum, but the supplier was not able to get that type of material, so they made that excuse to make me do a lot of push-ups. I think obviously one of the big plans is trying to get a Stronghold to Brazil in the next year or so. Yeah, I think there's always a big learning opportunity. We had a great briefing with our judges and our results. I think we still broke a lot of boundaries for Brazil. It was I think it's probably the best position Brazil had in the last 15 years. And I think it's a great opportunity for us to keep improving the Brazilian barista scene and specialty coffee scene, and how we can push that further into the next year will be incredible. So that's exactly what we're thinking about now.